keeping it up. We have spent a lot of time in this course discussing how to increase your cognitive reserve. In some areas, you have likely already developed enduring routines that will stand the test of time. Doing these things may have become second nature already. It's so much a part of your normal routine that you hardly notice that you're investing in your cognitive reserve. For example, you may have been going to exercise classes regularly for so many years that you don't think about all the cognitive benefits you're getting. However, if you started any new habits over the course of this program, these habits may be new enough that they are vulnerable to disruptions. Setbacks, distractions, and competing priorities can easily get in the way of a new brain fitness goal that is a new and unfamiliar habit. So, how can we combat that? Dealing with slips and setbacks. Slips and setbacks are very common. We have a tendency to be hard on ourselves anytime we make a slip or suffer a setback, which may lead us to throwing in the towel. But what researchers are finding is that it is less about the actual slip that can cause us to abandon our new habit. More important is the way we deal with the slip. If we see the slip as a major screw-up and think that we really blew it, then we are more likely to abandon our goal. There is a natural tendency to lose sight of a new goal or to temporarily fall out of a new habit. But if we acknowledge that tendency, then we can move forward with that goal without having to carry around all of the emotional baggage that comes with beating ourselves up over the slip. Say, for instance, your goal is not to eat cookies except on Saturday nights, and on a Wednesday night you forget your goal and accidentally eat a cookie. If you think to yourself, "Oh, I totally blew it. Well, that rule will never work," then you are allowing perfectionism to destroy your new goal or habit. If, on the other hand, you say to yourself, "Uh-oh, I forgot my goal. I slipped. Oh, well, back on the horse," then you are much more likely to stick with your goal. How does one develop this attitude? The key is compassion. A slip doesn't make you a bad person. Getting angry with yourself is counterproductive because it activates the emotional brain and the fight or flight response. Beating yourself up just makes you defensive. Slips are normal, so give yourself a break. Willpower relies on the logical or executive brain. If the CEO calls in sick, goes on vacation, or loses focus, we can give up on our goals. This is because the executive brain is in charge of keeping your eye on the prize or fully embracing the long-term reward of your goal. On the other hand, your emotional brain wants things now. As you learned in the emotion session, a big part of your brain CEO's job is to inhibit the emotional brain. So most often we slip because the logical brain can't keep the emotional brain from seeking instant gratification. It is very common for short-term rewards to get in the way of our long-term goals because short-term rewards are more in your face. We have to actually think about long-term goals, which requires an energized and effective brain CEO. For example, you may avoid getting a hearing aid because you are embarrassed. But in the long run, getting a hearing aid may help prevent you from developing dementia by helping you stay engaged in social situations. However, this long-term benefit may not be at the forefront of your mind the way your outward appearance is. When your brain's CEO is out sick or takes a vacation, things can get a little messy. The CEO can lose power from lack of sleep, illness, interrupted routine, and emotional hijacking, which can come from emotions such as anger, guilt, and stress. Why we slip. The very act of doing something new or even thinking of doing something new can cause our brain CEO to call in sick. This is because the brain sees change as a threat, so our emotional brain's attachment to the way things have been will kick in to trip us up from time to time. Let's look at some of the stages of change involved in building a new habit. With any of the particular habits that we have been discussing, you may fall into one of these 4 categories. First, we see the pre-contemplation stage. This is the point at which you are not thinking about making any changes. Next comes the contemplation stage, where you are thinking about making a change in your behaviors and habits. After this comes the preparation stage. Here, you might be beginning to try out some new options or figure out how to fit a new behavior into your life. Finally, you reach the action stage, when you are doing the new activity and incorporating it into your regular schedule. As we near the end of this program, we are hoping that you are in the action stage for at least 1 or 2 new habits, but it's possible that you may not be there yet. It is also likely that there are other aspirations or activities that were part of your vision, and you may be in the pre-contemplation or contemplation stage for some goals you have. This model illustrates that even though we would like to think that the stages of change naturally progress from left to right, in fact, a person's stage of change can jump all over the place, even from moment to moment. These are slips, and all of the things we identified as slips can pop us out of action and into an earlier stage of change. How temporary or permanent that slip is up to you. One of the main things that prevents our action, preparation, or even contemplation is fear. You might not experience a particular sensation as fear. However, if you dig down and sit with the feeling, which may feel more like resistance or discounting the benefit of the long-term reward, it may all boil down to fear, apprehension, and doubt. Thoughts like, I just can't make it to the gym. I won't be able to walk for as long as I want. And I'll feel like a failure, are signs of goal-related fear that need to be overcome. Or you may say, oh well, I can do my memory exercise tomorrow, which may really translate to, I don't really like the antsy feeling I get when I'm practicing my memory skills. And antsy may translate to the fight or flight response. Compassion. So, what can we do about slips, you ask? Well, this brings us back to compassion. Compassion allows us to tolerate sitting with the feelings that are causing us resistance, so that we can experience them fully, allowing them to have their day in court or be heard, which often makes them go away. Compassion also provides the logical brain the opportunity to label the feelings, sort through the thoughts underlying those feelings, and make new, more logical decisions, as opposed to abandoning the goal and going back to old habits. If you judge your feelings, you can't feel safe enough to sit compassionately with them, so they are never heard. They never see the light of day. Instead, they sit under the surface, controlling our behaviors and sabotaging our goals. Hopefully, these tips will help you meet the goals you have set in this evidence-based program on brain fitness. Congratulations on completing the Boost Your Brain and Memory program. You now have the knowledge and tools to lead a brain-healthy life. We hope that you will continue to strive to make brain-healthy choices.